It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders, and today we're going to be talking about the newest team that I've been using for the arena grind. Now, the meta is still pretty shaky, it's not very settled at this moment, so there's a lot of different variations of teams going on right now, but this is the one I want to talk about in specific. Reason being is that sparkling is actually very, very useful right now in the current setups because of what teams are being run. Sparkling is doing really well. So the toppings we're covering here is damage resistance for Wildberry, and then cooldown for everybody else except Espresso. And the biggest reason Espresso is running the attack toppings is so that Financier specifically is protecting Espresso, since Financier protects the cookie with the highest attack. So the idea here, the position, Espresso is a little bit more protected being in 4th position. So that means that Vampire can't target Espresso, since Espresso is not the back cookie, and other teams that are attacking the front units aren't going to get Espresso because in the middle. So it's like a pseudo protective setup for position. And then in addition, Sparkling is increasing the critical percentages. So since Espresso is running the attack setup, and we already have our base crit percent from our monument, and we are getting an additional crit boost from Sparkling Cookie, we are making it higher odds that Espresso is going to deal high damage with critical boost. In addition, we're getting the attack boost from Pomegranate, and Financier's skill also boosts the attack power of Espresso Cookie. So it just compiles to a large amounting force of damage, mostly from Espresso Cookie. Everyone else is pretty much a utilitarian piece to try and protect and set up the team for complete dominance of the battle arenas. So, the treasures we're using is Feather to hopefully revive Espresso. Sometimes it does happen to go on Pomegranate or Sparkling, but as you can see, I really don't have damage resistance on either of them. So if I could improve that on the team, the Feather should be guaranteed to go to Espresso every time, meaning even further damage. But let's take it to the arena just to show you what's going on and how we're operating this. Now, there's going to be some that are matched with me. There's going to be some that are not. We're in the early season arena grind, but I still want you to see how it's operating and what's going on. So here we go. All right, so based on the cooldown setup, we get Sparkling to activate, and then we get Espresso with the interruptions and the injuries on the enemy teams. As you can see, we get hit down pretty hard, but then Sparkling kicks in and our healing just absolutely boosts like it's out of nowhere. So the healing is pretty insane from that side. The one thing that does help on their end of the team is they have the injury and Caramel Arrow going at the same time, so that means that they have the ability to keep us from completely out-healing their damage. But we have ascended past all of those problems. We just have Dark Cow and Wildberry. Pretty hard enemies on the other side, but like I said, Sparkling is doing a tremendous healing job, keeping us alive. If we lose Espresso, which we just did, then we have to bank on Wildberry to finish the job in most scenarios like this. Doesn't always happen, but it can. So, as you can see, 4.3 million damage from Espresso, outpacing Dark Cow, outpacing Caramel Arrow, absolutely thwomping them as far as damage goes. When we go to healing, 6.1 million from Pomegranate and 5.4 from Sparkling. Their herb has likely either damage resistance or cooldown on, and even if it has cooldown, only 1.1 million means that that's some low healing. Like, that's not very much at all. We well outpace their healing tenfold because of the way we have our setup. And yet again, because of those critical boosts and the attack boost from Pomegranate, they're syncing hand in hand to just make our healing absolutely insane, and that's why you see those health bars just popping up like they were just insta-healed, almost similar to an Insignia effect. So let's try some other teams. This one's going to probably be hard. It's a speed team. It's got Caramel Arrow. If they have a Claire as well, we'll probably lose, but that's okay. We'll still give it a try. So let's see what they've got. Okay, they don't have a Claire. They have Sorbet, so that actually is good. We don't mind losing Financier and Wildberry to Sorbet in the front. That's not honestly a huge problem as long as our Espresso can keep hammering away at their team with the interruptions and the damage. It's a really good ability with the Magic Candy from Espresso. As you can see, Sparkling and Pomegranate just healing crazy, crazy fast and keeping our team alive. Like, look at those health bars just flying up on our team. And we don't even have healing treasures going on. The feather technically, but we don't have actual healing treasures going on. Otherwise, we would just be healing even faster. Yet again, we still may lose this battle. Really depends. We have lost our full front to sorbet as I figured we would, but now it's just a sorbet and a pure vanilla, and boom, we take it. We take it. So they were able to take the front as their team planned to do, and look, their damage was amazing from Caramel Arrow and Sorbet. Absolutely amazing. But Espresso did not care. Espresso was just like, I'm burning the power, I'm burning the pain, and look at our heals. Yet again, huge heals. We out-healed Pure Vanilla. We out-healed Parfait Cookie. That's what's happening here. That's what I love about this team here. It is absolutely massive amounts of heals. Absolutely able to trounce anything that's trying to stand up against us when it's a healing battle. Granted, burst damage is going to really take us down. It's going to hit us hard. Injury from Espresso and Dark Cacao, it's going to really suck because that's going to hurt us. Here's a good example. Here's an Espresso. We're probably going to have issues with this battle because that injury is going to make it so that we can't heal as much. And even worse, we have Vampire Cookie, which will probably take out our Sparkling. So this is a high probability team that we're potentially going to lose against. It's still a great test, still worth trying, but I feel that we have a very high chance of not winning this battle. So let's see what happens. As you can see still, heals going super fast. We lost Espresso and Sparkling Cookie. Pomegranate was the one that took the feather because she died first, and it always goes in a line. And yeah, as you can see, as I figured, we're not going to win this battle. Biggest reason, even though they have one less healer and they have almost the same setup we do, they have the ability to knock our healing down by a lot. Look at that, 1.7, 3.5. We just didn't really have a chance to heal, and that's because of Espresso. So Dark Cacao and Espresso are going to be your two biggest enemies against this specific team, and Vampire is going to be really bad against your rear fronts, so be ready for that. If you don't see any of those three cookies on the enemy team, you have good chances. Not perfect chances, but good chances. If you can get damage resistance on your cooldown toppings for Sparkling and Pomegranate, you have better chances even against an Espresso and Vampire team, because then you're going to be running really strong. And if you can somehow get your toppings on Espresso to have attack, cooldown, and critical percentages, you will be flying through the damage at that point. That's how you can min-max that setup. Obviously, damage resistance is good if you can get it. I would be willing to do attack, crit, damage resistance, or attack, damage resistance, cooldown. Some variation of that. Or you can even forego the attack substat and just go crit, damage resistance, cooldown, as you have pretty high attack stats from the Syrian itself, plus the boosts from Financier and Pomegranate as well. So it's really up to you how you want to build it, but I wanted to give you a quick idea of what this team's doing and why it's doing great. And I'm going to use it against a lot of teams. As I've shown, it's not the perfect team. It has its counters just like every team does, but it's a really fun team, and I really like what it's doing. I love your opinions and your feedback. Is it great to see Sparkling Cookie back? I'm loving that Sparkling's back. Who can we bring back next? I'm thinking Milk, maybe? Maybe Crepe? Let's see if we can get some of our old favorite cookies back, shall we? Thanks again. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow so that we can continue to give great advice for you guys. And thank you for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.